6th, 11th, or 12th grade. Get details by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
At First National Bank in Taylorville, switching banks isn't a hassle. It's easy by real people who care. Find out why they've been first every time for over 70 years by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM. And you're listening to the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. I'm your host, Reed Kamai, and we finish things out today with Evan Mitchell, the Recreation Director at the Taylorville Park District. Evan, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me, Reed.
Yeah, it's good to have you in, and a lot of exciting stuff going on at Taylorville's parks. I always love hearing about what is happening there. Let's start with this week, the senior lunch that you've got coming up, and oh boy, what it is you're serving. Tell our listeners.
Okay, so Thursday on the 13th this week, we're having our monthly senior lunch. We're doing pulled pork barbecue. Half the people will be bringing sides, and half the people will be bringing desserts. And it's the typical senior lunch. We kind of get together a little bit before noon and chat, and then we give the prayer at noon, and then people go up and serve themselves. And then afterwards, we have 5 rounds of bingo. If you aren't on our senior lunch call list, please give us a call up at the office, 217-824-3110, and we can get your name and number on the list and have you informed on what's going on with senior lunch.
How have the senior lunches overall gone since you brought it back?
Pretty good. We've been getting a little more each time. And, sometimes people's phone numbers change and things, and so they get out of the loop. But we're expecting to have more than the one that we had a month ago. So,
all right. No, that'll be good. Looking forward to hearing about that. Again, this Thursday, the senior lunch. I just had to glance up at our calendar just to make sure I had the date right. But yes, August 13th, that is a Thursday. I know you've had the farmers markets still going on. How much longer does that go until?
Through October.
Okay.
And from what I could see, not only do we have a lot of great locally grown produce and locally produced meat and eggs, but we've also got some really talented people selling crafts up there as well. We've got some homemade jewelry, and there's a gal who does wreaths to hang on your door, and I picked one up in July to hang on my front door for 4th of July. That was super festive. So, not only can you get peaches and eggs and pork and rhubarb and berries and all the things you like, but we also have got some really talented people with homemade goods that I urge people to check out.
That is great. And yeah, farmers market's always fun to go to, and you've still got them going on every Saturday, still under the Chautauqua.
Yep, under the Chautauqua from 9 till noon.
9 till noon. Okay, so farmers markets, again, still happening every Saturday. In terms of, let's see, other things going on, JFL football is about to start up. Of course, so too will varsity football and obviously all the other levels of football. But that's starting up again for you folks. What are the details about that you know?
Well, the first home game is going to be August 29th at Don Bragg, and they've got the different junior varsity divisions playing throughout the day, starting at 10 a.m. And you can go to TaylorvilleJFL.com and see the full schedule of the home games as well as the away games. But we're excited to have JFL out at Don Bragg. I love when I drive past the sports complex and then there's nowhere for anybody to park. It's such a good feeling. Makes me think that maybe we need a bigger parking lot. But JFL is always a good time. They're always packing the sports complex. So that'll start on the 29th.
Yeah, and then is that and I'm trying to picture Don Bragg in my head and where where it happens. So is that you drive into the driveway, is in the fields like to the left of the parking lot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, the field's to the west of the parking lot.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'll have to check that out. Hopefully, this year, August 29th is what you said. First game is our first home game anyway. at Don Bragg. So let's see. We've got JFL football, the car cruises. I know you've had that throughout this summer. And when's the next one?
The next one is going to be September 4th. It's going to be with a live band, as most of them have been, with Prairie State of Mind, and they're going to be sponsored by Small Town Taylorville. Prairie State of Mind is a 4-piece kind of alternative country group. They have some of their own original songs. They also have some cover songs. This may be a little obscure, but I can compare them to Wilco, the famous alternative country act out of Belleville. And we're going to have food trucks. I can't say for sure which food trucks we're going to have just yet. And we just had one this past Friday too, with a jazz ensemble performing called Liz Fitz. And we had Edinburgher's food truck out there, and we had Dave's Barbecue and Kona Ice and lots of cool cars. So yeah, the next one is September 4th, and I hope everyone can make it.
All right. Car cruise happening then. And how have those events gone throughout the summer as well?
They've been pretty good. I think it's going to be hard to top July 3rd. That was a packed house whenever people came to see Super Mario Speedwagon and all the other festivities we had going on for America's 250th birthday. But all in all, they've been pretty good. Lots of cool show cars. Just super impressive. The guys that restore these cars and take care of them and maintain them. It's just awesome. I'm a big history guy, and that's pretty much with everything, including automobiles. So it's like you're taking a step back in time when you go to these car shows. It's pretty cool.
That sounds like it. So yeah, next car cruise, September 4th. Let's look at, let's see, the St. Mary's 5K is also in that month in September. What should listeners know about that?
Well, they do their annual fall festival at St. Mary's, and on the 19th of September, they are doing their 5K through Manners Park. I don't have a whole lot of information about that, but if you'd like more information and you'd like to register to be in the 5K, you can contact the parish office at St. Mary's.
Okay, so more information in that medium there about the St. Mary's 5K. On September 19th. Let's fast forward then to the start of October when you're going to have a movie night in the park. I know you did one of them in May and then this one in October. What's being featured?
Well, we're excited to announce that we are going to have really a new movie. It's not out on DVD or Blu-ray yet or on streaming services. The Mandalorian and Grogu. For all you Star Wars nerds out there, it's going to be a really good time. Or if you're just looking for a good family-friendly movie to bring the kids out to, we're going to start probably about 6 or 6:30 with just kind of like some Star Wars music and hanging out. And then the movie will start at dusk. But my friend Doug over at Sidney Lynn's Little Bookshop and Vinyl is going to give a $25 gift certificate to the best cosplay. So you can bust out those Halloween costumes a few weeks early if you're a Star Wars nerd. And in addition to the $25 gift certificate to Sidney Lynn's Little Bookshop and Vinyl, the best cosplayer will also get a life-size Mandalorian and Grogu cardboard stand-up that they can take home with them or use for target practice, whatever they prefer.
Okay, that is really interesting, and I think, I like that you throw in the costume contest. I mean, yeah, these sort of aesthetic contests. I mean, yeah, you've been bringing a lot of those out. You had the mullet contest.
Yeah,
I can't forget that at the 3rd of July event. So yeah, it sounds like costume contest, and then you'll show the movie. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. And then show it, I'm sure, to folks who are still in those costumes that night. So that is October 2nd, and that'll be at, is it at Manners Park?
Yep, at the Chautauqua building.
Oh, in the Chautauqua. Okay, yeah, you probably said that, and I was thinking of too many other things. Okay, so October 2nd, movie night in the park. I'm talking right now with Evan Mitchell, Recreation Director at the Taylorville Park District. Let's take a break, and we'll have a lot more to talk about when we come back right here on the WTIM Morning Show on your information station.
Your information station, WTIM. WTIM.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Two-sided trade with corn, beans, and Chicago wheat. September corn down half a penny, 438.5. December corn 461 3/4, down 1/4. March corn down half a penny, 477 1/4. September beans up 2.5, 1161.5. November beans up 2 1/4, 1178.5. January beans 1193.5, up 2 1/4. September Chicago wheat 646 3/4, up 7. September KC wheat is up 7.5, 721.5. September bean meal down $1.20, 307.70. September bean oil 68.92, up 68 cents. Livestock trade, September feeders up 52 cents, 345.75. August live cattle up 82 cents, 232.52. August lean hogs up 1/4, 95.75. Energy market, October Brent crude oil up 251, 86.06.
Don't let summer weather get in the way of your summer fun. Here's Dr. Pavi Gill with Springfield Clinic, Taylorville.
Once the weather warms up, it's more important than ever to practice sun safety. The providers at Springfield Clinic Taylorville recommend that if you're out in the sun, you drink water throughout the day and wear sunscreen, hats, and UPF clothing.
But if you need care, whether for a routine checkup or a vacation bug this summer, call Springfield Clinic Taylorville at 217-287-8855 to schedule an appointment.
Does your bank offer rewards on qualified signature-based debit card purchases? If not, then we need to talk. Hi, my name is Julie Sanchez with People's Bank and Trust. Join the growing number of our customers who are earning cash back on all qualifying debit card purchases. You already use your debit card. Now make it work for you with Save by Spending rewards from People's Bank and Trust. Earning rewards is as easy as shop, sign, and save. Call 888-PBT-1954 and find out more about our Save by Spending rewards program today. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi everyone, Nicole Patrick here, your local country financial representative at 1305 West Bresser in Taylorville. I'm proud to recognize the Tornado student athletes that represent our community by being the exclusive sponsor of the WTIM Nicole Patrick Country Financial Player of the Game. During Tornado Sports broadcasts this school year, WTIM announcers will select a player at the end of each game who will receive a certificate for being named our Player of the Game. Good luck to all the teams this season, and go Tornadoes!
I'm Police Chief Andrew Pistorius with the Sullivan Police Department, here to talk about a topic no one wants to discuss, depression that many times leads to suicide. When a person is going through such feelings, many times family and friends don't know how to help. But there is help. If you feel depressed or lonely, there are many resources to help you. Call a trusted relative, friend, or minister, or call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline toll-free at 800-273-TALK. That's 800-273-TALK. All of us are here to help.
WTIM.
Back here on the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. I'm your host, Reed Kamai, and I continue my discussion here with Evan Mitchell, the Recreation Director at the Taylorville Park District. And we spent the first segment talking about some of the fun events that they've got coming up in the next few months. A lot of great things going on there. I want to turn our attention now to the park pond, because it sounds like you've got a pond moss that you're working with, and I want to give you the chance to update our listeners on what's going on with that.
Sure. I know a lot of people are kind of upset about the amount of moss that's on the pond, and I can assure you we're upset about it too. I got to look out my office window and see it every day. So first I'll start off with what the cause is for this abundance of moss. Ben Dempsey and I have been working closely with biologists for the Illinois Department of Fisheries, Tad Locker, and he's really educated us on what's going on with this pond moss. So some of you may remember 6-7 years ago, we had cleared out a bunch of brush along the shoreline of the North Pond. Well, the roots of all those trees and weeds and things like that were absorbing a lot of the nutrients in the soil around the bank of the pond. Well, when we took all those out, it's to my understanding that now that there is an abundance of nutrients going into the water, which causes the pond moss to thrive. The type of moss it is filamentous algae, commonly known as pond scum, which is what it looks like. It's a delicate dance. We were worried about our pond not being healthy enough at the beginning of the summer, and now it appears to be too healthy because this moss is really just thriving. So biologist Tad Locker told us that we're not an isolated incident. Seems to be taking place all over the state with ponds and small lakes right now. And the best method for cleaning this up is manual collection. Now, for years and years, all the park has had is this rinky-dink little John boat, right? It's barely enough for one guy to work out of. So the decision was made. We needed something a little more efficient that guys could work off of to collect this pond moss and trim back some of the primrose that's growing. So we're going to pick it up today, actually. We're getting I can't tell you the dimensions, but a very, very small pontoon boat. And so what we're going to be doing with that is going around and, instead of spraying a bunch of chemicals and risking a fish kill, we're going to manually collect as much of the moss as we can off of the top of the pond, as well as trimming back some of the primrose. This would have been extremely difficult to do in a John boat. So with this small pontoon boat, we could get 2 or 3 guys on the deck with rakes, and we're going to rig up some sort of cow catcher to put on the front of the boat to kind of push the moss. And as to my understanding, the best thing to do is to put it up on the bank, let it dry out for a couple days. So, the fish and, we'll have to look for the fish, of course, as we put it onto the bank. But then the frogs and the turtles that would get pushed onto the bank have the opportunity to go back into the pond, and then the moss will dry out, and then we'll collect it and dispose of it properly. Hundreds of years ago, that pond was a wetland. It was very shallow. There's a freshwater spring that comes up on the west end of the North Pond. And biologist Tad Locker explained it to me as this pond is trying to restore itself into what it was hundreds of years ago before it was turned into a park pond. It just kind of naturally wants to become a shallow wetland. And we're going to try, they say you can't fight nature, but we're going to attempt to fight nature and get it cleaned up starting this week. I know a lot of people have been concerned, and rightfully so. But unfortunately, we just didn't have the resources or the means to get it taken care of. Ben Dempsey, our superintendent of maintenance, is also going to be getting his aquatics license for herbicides in the near future, so that when the pond moss starts to come back, it'll be such a small amount that we would be able to stay on top of it by spraying. And, when it's this much moss, if we were to spray the whole thing, it's not that the chemical causes a problem with the fish and wildlife, but rather the dead moss. Once we kill it and it sinks to the bottom, well, it makes for a bad ecosystem. Yeah. So our focus is going to be manual collection of this moss. And then from there on out, hopefully just go around once in a while and spray as needed.
Yeah, so it sounds like getting the moss out there now, and then you said you were also going to cut down a part of like one of the trees that's causing these nutrients to like get into the water. Was that what you said?
No, cutting down the trees that several years ago, we did a major trim around the bank of that pond.
Okay,
and because those trees and weeds and everything were gone. There was a lot of nutrients being soaked up by those roots, and now the nutrients are going into the pond and causing the moss to thrive a little too well.
Yeah. So that's what's going on there. at the pond at Taylorville's parks, and you heard about the update there from Evan Mitchell, Recreation Director at the Taylorville Park District. Evan, thanks for coming on and laying all that out.
Thank you, Reed.
Yes, and thank you for listening here on the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a great day.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville. 96.1 FM Taylorville. 107.5 FM Shelby.